Today's the day. I grabbed my friend Hamel, Husain, and said, let's break some AI products live. No scripts, no second chances. Some apps crushed it, some failed in hilarious ways, and one completely shocked us. Let's find out who survived the bake-off. So we're going to test AI products live, and now at this point in the course, you all have superpowers that Hamel and Treya have given you. That's how I felt in the very first cohort. I felt like, holy shit, I'm a wizard now. Like, I know how to objectively improve subjective products. That's so cool. So now I want to do that. And so for the client work we've had, whenever I'm asked to make an AI product better, I immediately just go to use it. And I'm a product person that's technical. And I really like thinking about user experience, and evals give you a really good objective way, especially from an error analysis lens, to improve your LLM products. So I thought it'd be fun to actually just like test products together. So let me ground us in notes. We're going to be testing AI products. I'll give a quick intro of myself. I spent 8 years at Workday. I have some patented product analytics work that helped grow from 2 billion to 4 billion. I bootstrapped my first startup from 0 to 1.5 million in revenue in 4 months in crypto gaming. That was with GameStop. That was kind of a wild ride. And then FTX came and just killed the whole market, and startup went to shit. I became chief product architect at Dayforce after that. And now I'm bootstrapping a startup, Epistemic Me, solving AI alignment and hyper-personalization. It's all open source. I'm a huge nerd about AI products and development, and I'm a huge nerd about a lot of things in general. So this is the agenda. We're going to talk about challenges. We're going to introduce some language, which I really like, from Teresa Torres. If any of you were in Teresa Torres's talk yesterday about how she went from noob and AI evals, more on the product side, to, hey, I have made an app and I've shipped it to production and I have pretty good evals. So I really like her language. My co-founder, shout out to him, Jonathan, introduced me to her work, and I've been integrating it into my own development and product work. We're going to compare a couple of apps. So I'm going to compare Lovable and Base44. We're also going to compare Granola and Otter. I got some submissions from you all about this. And then I also added, if time permits, it'd be cool to maybe test Imagine 3 versus 4.0. So I just wanted to ground everybody in that. So what are the challenges in testing AI products? And then we'll actually go and test them. I won't read this whole slide, but it's subjective. Regression risks are real, and you got to focus on data and constraints. So I'm looking at the so just testing is subjective, and it requires taste. And I actually think that's why inviting a bunch of people that have different tastes, different experiences, different nature and nurture together would be really fun. Before we get into that, I actually wanted to just reference Teresa Torres's work. She has this great book, Continuous Discovery Habits, and she takes basically a scientific method approach to making products better. And she was in cohort 1. That was pretty cool to be in the same cohort. And she did a class yesterday on how she actually applied this knowledge. And funny enough, like at the same time, I've been thinking through her language and her frameworks from the lens of evals. So I want to just introduce some of the language. She didn't get a chance to go into detail on this yesterday, but I find it to be a helpful way to think about your experiments for your evals. Like when Hamel and Treya talk about, generating your first synthetic data set, maybe for an LM application, you start with like the dimensions, like you did for the recipe bot. What are the dimensions that a customer experience might be informed by that you would want to have in your grading rubric for your AI evals, right? And I think she has a great framework for that. This is a quote from yesterday. This is the scientific method. I teach the scientific method. I love that about evals. She also added this to Discord, which is cool. The TLDR of this was that to improve your evals, run assumption tests. So what is an assumption test? An assumption test is a test that you could run that measures something objectively to try to learn more about what actually moves the levers on your product. And in this case, Teresa was saying, hey, AI products are kind of the same in terms of normal products where we could still run assumption tests, but it's with these different LLM tools instead. So I want to just introduce some language that I've been using around assumption tests. And then you can map to dimensions that Hamel and Treya kind of talked about. So Teresa talks about desirability. So does this produce valuable outcomes? Would users choose this AI's output over alternatives? Usability. So this is user experience, ease of use. Feasibility. So can it reliably produce outputs quality at a certain level of quality, speed, like performance, and scale? And there's a couple other boxes: viability, business impact, sustainability. Is this cost effective, token costs? And then there's like ethical concerns. I'll share all these slides after, so you kind of have this framework. But I like thinking about dimensions in terms of these assumption tests, because it maps very quickly into quick feedback loops when you test your AI products. Okay, so now let's get out of the talking. I don't want to just talk about this stuff. I want to actually just go test stuff. So first one that I got, I think a lot of people here will be familiar with, which is Granola versus Otter. And I actually think we have some, I think we have like maybe an Otter or Granola or something in here. Does anybody use Granola or Otter? Please like raise your hand if you do. I don't know if you actually, yeah, okay, I see some hands raised.
Which one do you use, Robert?
Funny enough, we use both. On the team, we use both. Wow. So every meeting we record both. And this is maybe the perfectionist side of me and my co-founder, but we're like, record everything. And we take the recording transcripts and we put them into a little AI intern that just has the updated knowledge of us and what we do. And that way, you know, that's especially good for like onboarding, or if we want to talk to the AI and help create content or think of features and stuff like that. So we actually use both.
Love to hear more about the AI intern sometime. I want to take you off track though.
Yeah. That could be another one. Because if this goes well, like I'd be happy to host more of these, because I think, you know, we're at such a nascent precipice of building the future that bringing together builders of the future like here and learning together, that's really key. So I guess to make this active, for your meeting transcription AI tools, what dimensions do you think we should test for? And throw that into the Discord chat. Okay, Crisp AI, Otter user, I try to record everything I hear. I use Granola daily, I'm Granola right now. Dimensions, technical ability. What do you mean by that? Technical ability to leverage the tool. So like a user experience one. And I guess I could go back because I just introduced these, but there's desirability, usability, feasibility. I'll screenshot this and throw it into the Discord so you all have it right now. And this might be useful. Cool. This is now on the Discord. So now you have those to think about. Does not make things up. I.e. how technical user is, reader of summary reports, what dimensions to look at, captures main topics clearly, captures action items, captures facts, impact to our company, best next actions to take, action items and who, does not make things up. Summary and action item quality, sourcing raw audio on summaries and takeaways, accuracy on specific jargon. Yeah, okay, yeah. People, POVs. Okay, so like identifying people correctly and tying their POVs, themes, and then argument contention. Okay, so like you want to go there and find specific themes, or you want to go to specific spots where maybe there was high energy or emotionality. Domain, number of participants, captures energy engagement. Oh yeah, that kind of overlaps with Shirang's. Accuracy on different accounts, dimension, feasible. This is great. This is really good. And you know what's
I think it's really good, yeah.
You know what's good about this? Yeah. You know what's good about this, Hamel, is like these are all different. and that's the point of this, right? Like everybody's got a different view. And so my point here, and Teresa talked about this yesterday, it's like, how do you decide what dimensions? Actually, the best way is actually just go talk to a customer and ask them about their experience. Go interview a customer, ask them how they use the Granola, Otter AI, and ask them to walk you through it and how do they chat with the app? And then you get to see what are the rich dimensions that actually go into real usage. In this case, I think we're actually all users. So this is a good example. So I actually think a lot of these come from real users, but I think even within this, there are engineering users, there are architect users, there are MLE users, AI researcher users, founder users, product manager users, technical product manager users. And I think if we probably just ran a classification of the cohort of everybody that's talking about this, we could probably find some overlap. Cool, minutes, next action. Yeah, okay, these are all great. And I think what we're gonna do now is actually just go test them. So let me navigating Zoom a little bit. Cool, yeah, so these are actually both the same meeting. I'll just put that up here to be clear. And these were kind of stock summaries. So I think the first thing we'll do is actually just look at the stock summaries and analyze like what's the difference. So these are the auto ones. So I see here that just looking on the left, I think even first of all, it pulled a summary of my meeting here. So I actually think it didn't recognize that I was going into this meeting from my calendar, so it didn't pull the calendar event name. That's maybe a bug, or maybe that's user error. I also see here that they like go to Markdown, and also there's a local app that's different. On the right, it starts with an overview. So that's interesting. And it also shows different things at the top. That's more of a user experience thing that's outside the LM scope, but it's still part of the experience for me as a customer. I see that this started with product focus and scope alignment. Over here, it started with an overview, and it didn't recognize me. That's interesting. On the left, it doesn't recognize anybody, actually. And I think that's inherent to how Otter versus Granola works. Granola doesn't join a meeting. It doesn't quite have the context. It's kind of backing into context based on your system audio recording. Okay, and then it shows action items at the top. Okay, interesting. So maybe before we go further there, I want to hear in Discord what you all think. Give me a 1 for...
We need like a poll, but yeah.
Yeah.
I felt 2 also. So it looks like 2 is going to win. We already know.
Okay, wow. All right, cool. And tell me why. I'm curious if anybody could say why.
I mean, for me, it's like the formatting, like you have an overview, like the one on the left is just going straight into bullet
Just
points.
stuff. Yeah.
And it's like not really orienting you into like what is going on. The one on the right,
Yeah.
has like is organized.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Okay. So that's interesting in itself because like I said, this is the auto use case. I didn't apply a system prompt. I didn't apply any template packages. You could. And so I wonder, this is an opportunity for the product team to be like, well, if they know the user's context, me, and they have information about me, they certainly have information about me at this point. I've used this a lot. They should probably know that, hey, this is a refinement and planning meeting, right? That's an opportunity for the product builder on the left to improve on. On the right, yeah, I could see that a lot of people were saying, okay, action items, one is wall of text, good cascading, 2's more organized, looks digestible visually. I actually think that's what Hamel was saying. It's just more digestible visually. I think that in itself is such a user experience thing, because what you're asking people to do is you're asking for them to take on cognitive load to understand what the AI generated. So if it doesn't even visually look like something I want to get into, it's like that's already part of the experience, right? The sections are, okay, yeah, organized for human. Yes, and that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, may organized for human viewing experience. Absolutely. And less work for the human, number 2. Yes. Okay. So I have a prompt. I was actually going to ask both of them. Now that we went through and we kind of see, like the differences of the default output. You could see here, you can ask questions to the AI wrapper on top of the meeting note, right? And so I have a question that let me pull this over here. Hang on. Just navigating so many screens. 1 sec.
How many monitors you got?
I just have 1, and I think that's a problem.
See your head's like scrolling all the way like across the sky.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull up my prompt. 1 sec.
Where do you keep your prompts?
My co-founder knows about PKMs. Okay, so I'm going to toss this in here. We just finished our sprint planning and backlog refinement session. Can you summarize the key decisions we made? I actually think I'll add something else. What are the main technical risks? Which features are prioritized? And again, this is the use case of I am in a software development team. We're in a product development cycle. This is sprint planning refinement meeting. So I'll go back to this the next day and I'll ask this. So let's go ahead and just ask both of these at the same time. So now they're both going.
We just finished our sprint planning. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
that's what you just said.
Yeah, we just finished a sprint planning and backlog refinement session. Can you summarize the key decisions we made? What are the main technical risks? Which features are prioritized? Okay, so I'm just gonna look at Granola first, and then I'll look at this. Okay, it looks like actually the visuals on this are similar here. and it starts with key decisions. That's great because that's actually the first thing that I asked for. So that's really great. It looks like here Granola chose to have different headers for bullets here. So it's more categorized. I kind of like that more. It helps me zoom in on key decisions by category. This is less like that.
So, question, does the Granola, is Granola the one on the left?
Yeah.
Did they have the ability to have timestamps?
Oh, that's
Is that because like I see the timestamps in your Otter, and I'm like, wow, okay, there's timestamps.
oh, yeah. I wasn't even looking ahead, but that's yeah, that is a big difference. I don't know if they have that. Do you have the ability to tag timestamps with your output? I'd like that. But real quick, okay, it doesn't have the ability. Well, that's even cool that it will tell me that. So maybe they've added some sort of evals based on their current feature set. Cool. We'd have to test that more to actually know if that's true. That was off the cuff statement. But let me get another vote. Dude, Hamel, you just biased everybody, Hamel. You
I
just
know,
biased
sorry.
everybody.
I shouldn't be doing that. Oh, you got some ones though. You got some ones.
Okay, wait, tell me why you chose ones. I'm curious. 2 timestamps. Okay. Yeah. Still love Granola because it doesn't join your meeting. Yes. And that is such a key part of the user experience, actually. It's non-intrusive. And I
Yeah,
actually
it can be stealth. Yeah, it can be stealth.
yeah. And so there is a bit of ethics in that too, because you should be telling people you're recording. So, that's what the Granola team
Now, is the
advises.
Granola also capturing the video, or is it just the
No,
notes?
or it knows what's on your screen, so it has context from the meeting, but it doesn't capture anything from the screen. It's just the transcription. So you could see here, it's literally just transcription. I could add screenshots as I go, and then it has more context of particular things. So actually, for example, I could even go to my AI evals course, so my notes here, and let's see.
Sharong is a pretty good.
Yeah, I have some. Oh, some people do like that. Oh, okay. Too easy to read quickly, subheadings, categorization, and highlight. Okay. So what's interesting is that people have different answers here, right? And so coming back to it, if I were going to really look into how do I objectively improve this subjective experience, I would start with who's the customer. And in this particular case, the ICP is a product manager or a developer in a sprint planning meeting or refinement meeting wanting to get answers out of it. They want a good summary to go back to, good notes, and they want to get answers later. So that's the main use case. And you basically have to find what are the failure modes for the common user queries one might have there, right? So back to it, we might all have our own personal preferences, but you have to really go about it by the ICP or the ideal customer profile and what their use cases might be and what they see as failure. So I wanted to demonstrate this to just see, because I actually expected people would go 1 or 2. I thought it'd be kind of split, and it kind of is based on this output. It seems like the default people were more like in Otter. There is another fun thing I always like doing when I test AI products. So I usually ask it, like, how does the team behind this product do their evals? That's what I've been doing lately, just to see, like, have they?
You asked the AI?
Yeah, I asked the AI, and actually,
Okay.
Whoop's AI broke down their whole evals lifecycle, and I was like, wow, that's impressive. How
would that knowledge get in there?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it either it's made up or they actually thought about it. How does the product?
It would have to be in the context somehow, and it would be strange if it was in the context, but you never know. Yeah, you never know. Somehow, maybe some documentation, something, something else.
Okay, so Granola says that. Okay, so this is interesting. So this, I have never tried it for Granola and Otter, actually, but it looks like they bounded the scope of this. So the transcript and meeting notes don't contain information about how the product team does evals for Granola. This meeting was focused on Robert. Cool, okay. If you're looking for information about Granola's evaluation processes, that wasn't covered in this particular meeting. So it doesn't quite understand what I'm asking as well. And then here on the right, okay, so it's basically saying, hey, I don't really know. And I have some backup stuff to say when I don't know. And now it's telling me other things, like I have other features you should use. So now, okay, interesting. Oh, and then it says Otter has a feedback mechanism where users can rate transcript quality and provide permissions for Otter to access conversations or training. This could be one way the product team, that's okay, well, that's funny. It's saying this could be one way the product team gathers data for evaluation. For more specific information, you might want to reach out to the Otter support team. Okay, so clearly, like on the right is a better response. On the left, I didn't really understand my intent. Anyway, I just wanted to throw it out there. That was a funny way to just sort of test AI tools. While I'm here, just because I want to make
Yeah, I mean that's error analysis. You just did an error analysis on meeting notes right now.
exactly. While I'm here on the meeting notes case, does anybody have a question? I'll take one from the audience, a prompt. Throw me one, and I'll throw it in this, and we could see the outputs of each, and then again do the bake-off. Granola gives good categories. Okay, Granola gives a good during meeting experience by prompting for questions on the side window. I don't know if Otter provides it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's true. Okay, let me ask that. Great suggestion. Okay, yeah.
Good job, Granola. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good job. That was a good job, Granola. I like that one, Sabina. What are the immediate next steps I should follow after this meeting? Because that is just a typical user query. We'd have to actually go do our product work to find if that's a typical user query, but that's definitely something I do. Based on your meeting discussion, okay, so it's coming up with things. And now let's look at what Otter comes up with. Oh, that's a good one. What are
I'm already
opportunities?
liking Otter's response more.
Yeah? Wait, tell me more. Why?
I don't know. It's just like I feel distracted by the bold
Oh, yeah.
and like maybe it's personal.
Well, it's always
I
personal.
like the start of it, you know.
Yeah.
Um
Did you like that it thought more? It
like
thought for 10 seconds. Granola didn't really. Like,
I mean, I don't know, it's like continue grinding belief guard and UX experience. Like what is that? But it's like refine myself page design. I'm like, I just had a better feeling as I started reading, like, oh, like this seems like something that could be a next step.
yeah.
With like this granola, I'm like, first of all, why is this telling me to continue grinding on something? I don't know what that means. It's kind of hilarious sounding, but okay. Like,
It's because I said that in the
yeah,
meeting.
yeah,
I think that's why. But yeah, like,
yeah, but it's like a little bit too literal of a, you know, it's
oh, yeah,
like
no,
parenting
totally.
back.
Yeah, because yeah, you're right. Like if I were to come back to this, um, maybe in a week, I might have not remembered that I said that, but this happened yesterday, so I remembered that. That's a good point. That's a use case in itself, which is like, what context is the user coming back? How fresh is this meeting to them? Against the question they're asking. Why is Otter a better? I like this one. I'm going to put this. I had the same thing geared up for later. Why is Otter a better note taking app than Granola? And then I'll ask the same thing over here. Why is Granola a better AI note taking app?
The application like closes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, good job, Granola. You didn't even play with that. Cool. All right. Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Otter saying users might consider Granola better. And then it's saying a whole bunch of things like, and then it says, okay, however, Otter as a market leader is known for,
Yeah, Otter got defensive
yeah, Otter
a
got
little bit.
defensive.
I don't
Granola,
know why it like decided to engage with you. So you kind of
yeah,
like you basically it's like there's no jailbreaking. Like you kind of are able to use it like a chat GPT.
I didn't even really try to jailbreak it, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a low effort jailbreak. So that's is interesting. And after my first course, taking this course, I started just asking apps that I use this, and it tells me like how rigorously that team is thinking about evals. They probably aren't protecting for this weird edge case, but it's just an interesting thought.
Hmm.
Let me go back to it. What meaning? Okay, yeah, I'll put another one just because I got this. Tim Hoyt had a really highly emoji reacted one. I'm gonna toss that in, and then I'll move into Lovable and Base 44. So let's compare these outputs again.
Ooh, I'm really interested in that. I want to know the answer. Which
Oh,
one's better?
wait,
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
oh, base 44 versus Lovable. I got opinions. And we'll
I have a
definitely
prediction, but I'm gonna withhold.
So this is interesting. I maybe this is user error, but I don't think I stopped it. Uh, so yeah, I'll actually just give it another shot and prompt it again. All right, so now you're going to see where me and my co-founder are wasting time. Okay, so first of all, on the left there, I will say now that you've mentioned it, I don't like how fast this spits things out. For me personally, I kind of like knowing that the AI thinks about it a little bit. Even though, as a builder, I know it's generative,
Hmm.
but like it was almost too fast, and I'm like, oh, I'm not tracking this. And when I work with an AI tool, especially if I'm asking it questions, I think about it like, how do I make sure the user feels seen, heard, and understood? That's generally what I'm thinking about. It's subjective for sure, but that is like human, right? And I always have this thing when I'm testing AI products, which is time to value. Every product person knows time to value, but think about it like this. Like, here's a framework that's helped a lot of people. When you have a problem and you want to talk to someone about it, like your family, your friends, or whatever, right? Like everybody knows what this feeling is like, which is I go to one kind of family friend or my partner, and after one conversation turn, I feel totally heard, seen, and understood. And then everybody also has this feeling and could relate to when you go to another person and it takes 100 conversation turns, and then maybe even then you don't feel heard and understood, right? I see a similar sort of interaction because we're using symbolic language as humans to interact with these LLMs. It's all symbolic language. There's that human part of it of time to value that I think about from a builder perspective, but from a very humanistic perspective. It's like, how many conversation turns do I need to feel heard and understood in the problem that I brought? In this case, like I, the just I'll just say the subjective, like it didn't think, it just spewed things out. It felt to me like a human heard me and they didn't listen. They listened to talk. They didn't listen to listen. They listened to talk.
I like that a lot because a lot of times when I'm helping people with evals or whatnot, and they're like, "Oh, like we want to get the latency down." I'm like, "Well, can you change your UX to let the user know that it's thinking?"
Yeah.
Because like often that's all you need. You don't
Yeah,
really
exactly.
need it to go faster.
Yeah,
Um, and
100%.
sometimes like you're saying, it helps
Yes.
even.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Another area where like this kind of UX hack works is like gaming. Like if anybody's worked in gaming, I have loading screens. Great way to add juice and color and make people feel like, oh, this is cool. I can't wait. You're building anticipation. So you always have to think about that, like all the different parts of the user experience. Okay, so I asked this things about how we wasted time. Yeah, I think people need to absorb. I kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then we'll get into Lovable versus base 44. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna write my prediction on a piece of paper.
Okay, write it, and then you're going to show it at the end starts.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down right here.
Cool. Okay, so I see, yeah, it's sort of split down the middle. Two, like time wasted with timestamps. I do like the time wasted with timestamps. You could see that me and my co-founder like talking about philosophy. Sort of embarrassing, but okay. Yeah, I kind of like one for the formatting, but two for the depth and the timestamp context. So if we had both, I think that would be better. Like on the right side, it seems like they really got their evals right of context of like what would matter to the user anchored from the meeting transcription. But I don't think they did so well on the format, or maybe this is just a very opinionated product stance in design, which is we are never gonna bold things or have formatting, and maybe that appeals to different users more.
Yeah, why do you use both again? Like what do you do with all this information?
Put it in the GPT, but also like it's just useful because yeah, so like these transcripts. So I could go over this next time, but basically every week I just take the dump of the meetings me and my co-founder have, the podcasts we record, customer interviews, and other crap, and I kind of update our little GPT intern with it. And then I like looking at what I get do I get something better out of Granola for that meeting or Otter? And then I don't know if this is actually true, but it makes me feel like I'm selecting a better thing when I have the option here. And
Okay, so sometimes you select, it's not like one is the
yeah,
clearly always a
yeah,
winner.
yeah. And then the other thing is like I have a free Granola license from Lenny's newsletter or whatever. So I'm like, all right, I should probably use it. Oh, whoops. Oh, that's cool. Well, that's a whole different feature. That was me just clicking on the thing and then it brought up stuff. Okay, so I'm hearing a lot. This seems kind of split down the middle. And again, I'll say it's because this is subjective, and it's probably because we're all different ICPs coming at it from different perspectives. But we all have different preferred dimensions. Going back to the preferred dimensions, um, let me share again. Hold up. Here. So going back to the preferred dimensions, there's desirability, usability, feasibility, viability, ethical. So desirability is like context, timestamps, right? Like that's like the value part of like, does this get me the right information that I need? Is it answering my questions? User experience, that was some of the stuff around provenance, how fast it was, formatting, feasibility, so speed. I don't think that quite applied here, but there was a quality lens to this. Business impact, we're not thinking about that too much, but they would be trust and risk mitigation. So we even kind of got into that a little bit, where it's like, okay, maybe that team probably should have some guardrails where if it's asking about a competitor. Actually, wait, Hamel, funny thing, and for the class, I had a prospect come to me and they were telling about a customer support chatbot they were going to roll out. And then they said they had to stop the rollout because when they asked it about a competitor, the bot recommended the competitor. And so that was such a failure mode that they did not expect that came out from testing.
Hmm.
And so that's actually where like probably a code-based eval makes the most sense. It's like detect keywords. Like if I were like Granola or Otter, I'd probably be like, who are all of my competitors? Maybe all these are keywords. If they ever ask about it, have a canned response approved by legal, for example. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
That could be a guard. Yeah, it sounds like a good also for a guardrail. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
if you're omitting something with a competitor name, do something else.
totally. Yeah. Cool. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you for participating in that. And Michael has a question. Have you ever experienced a killer use case life-saving moment for having an AI intern second brain? Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't say life-saving, but honestly, most days I built my own tool that is an AI-powered living diary. And so it has all my context all the time. So I never have to recontext it. Um, I could share about that at another point, but I actually use it whenever I have complex life decisions to go through, like setting family boundaries or navigating personal dynamics and team dynamics and stuff. The very human stuff. So I always find that. So I built a thing because I found that I always went to ChatGPT and then I'd go try to get an opinion from Claude and then I had to like re-answer Claude and be like, here's all my context again from my chat with ChatGPT. Now you know, and then now could you recommend things? So I didn't like that.
So I mean, like, yeah, I mean, the main question in my mind is like, hey, you're getting all this stuff and feeding it into GPT or a cloud project. Are you like carefully like how you're not running out of context window? Because,
Oh,
what are you doing?
oh
Yeah.
yeah. I use the GPT like upload, you could upload 20 files, I think. And so like I always have the latest 20 files from our work. So
Oh, it's only the latest, so you just kind of delete
yeah,
the ones that
I
are too
go in
old.
every
Okay,
week and I like maintain its brain. Um, yeah,
I
yeah,
see.
that's how I use it, to be clear. And I'm happy to do a session on that. That might be interesting. But we do use it a lot to talk about like, hey, we identified some jobs to be done for this from this customer interview. And then in a divergent use case setting, like if anybody's used to the double diamond kind of design process, it's like when you're ideating solutions for opportunities, go divergent, go as many ideas, and then you kind of reel it back, right? Um, and I find that kind of thing with a smarter intern is better than just a stock model. Um,
That's really cool. I'll do something similar too with this course. It's actually like I get all the Discord chats, all the
yeah,
lessons and everything, and then I have a process where I take the lessons and I like compress it into like this other format. And basically everything from the entire course fits in a context window. It allows me to ideate. I'm going to be talking about it in a lightning lesson.
Oh, sweet.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Oh yeah, I would love to go there. Yeah, Zeldrin, thank you so much for dropping the double diamond. Sabina, yes, I actually do think it could just be part of the dog fooding process, right? Like PMs are testing, QA's testing, and so those heuristics or dimensions that you all agree on that is important to the ICP for the opportunity, that should be part of your evaluation criteria as you're testing, right? So totally. Okay, so now 18 minutes. I want to go to Lovable at base 44. So let's go ahead and do that. Hang on. So I think that was kind of split down the middle. Maybe 60% Otter was my feeling. I should have set up a Zoom poll. We could do that next time. So Lovable versus base 44. So I thought about the use case I wanted to test and had a sample prompt. And we're going to give it the same prompt. I think you all could still see my screen now, right? Like it should be base 44 on the left and Lovable, or Lovable on the left, base 44 on the right. Does everybody see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Cool. So I'm just going to give it this prompt. I didn't doctor this up or anything like that. That's on purpose. Usually if I were actually going to prompt something, I would use a PRD generator that I found, a really good prompt that's fine-tuned. So then I would throw it in here, but I wanted to act as if I'm a no-code, low-code kind of user that just wants to talk in English and get an app. So I'm going to go ahead and run this, and we'll see what happens in the machine. Oh, why can't I?
You know, base 44 has like a really interesting story. I would tell you that. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
it's pretty
Lenny's
epic.
podcast? Did you listen to Lenny's podcast?
I listened to it based on your recommendation.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And this guy had an 80 million exit in 6 months. So anyway, great. If you're into startups and stuff, I think this guy has the best published playbook via podcast newsletter form that I linked on how do you get to this exit? How do you identify opportunities? What did he do? And I thought it was really, really cool. He went into details of how did I even identify the problem, to dog fooding his own stuff, to when did he start marketing? Cool. So while this is waiting, actually, hang on. I don't want it to show you the thing yet. While this is waiting, let's go back to our assumption tests here, like the different categories or buckets. So desirability, usability, feasibility, viability, ethical. For base 44 and Lovable, this to-do app use case, what do you all think are the types of assumption tests we would have to run, or just like different heuristics or dimensions in these buckets for this use case? Drop that into the Discord chat, and then I want to see that first before I show you the to-do app, and then we can kind of look at it from those lenses. See some folks chatting. Time to working app.
That's a good one.
That is a really good one. Like, how long do I want to be waiting there? I see several people fulfills use case. Yeah, like did it do what I thought it would do based on what I typed into it? Is usable. In many ways we could test that. Writes maintainable code. That's another dimension. Has good aesthetic out of the box. Yes. Dimension, feasibility, no missing tasks, milestone. By Fred. Lucinda, usability must be intuitive to use, doesn't get messed up by formats of data entered in the app. Yeah, these are really good ones. Amount of back and forth before working version 1. Yeah, that's the working version, meaning like it got it to the spec that I had intended. Is that what you mean, Dr. Maiko? Or do you mean like before you feel like, okay, it just works? Yeah. Functionality, usability, maintainable code, had tests baked in. considers error handling, clear error messages, logs, extensibility and error free across sessions. Are you getting error free across sessions across any of these? Like, I'm not, man. Like, what are you doing different?
Not error free, no. But I mean, I tried to go slowly.
Yeah,
I don't ever one shot usually an app, but you know,
yeah.
maybe I'm just doing different things.
No, I think that's actually whenever I've tried to say to any of these vibe coding tools to do multiple things, it generally gets multiple things wrong. So I just try to concentrate on very sharp things as if I were pointing an engineer in a direction, you know. I think that's the best way I found recently. How easy it is to modify, ethical, doesn't plagiarize other code bases, especially those that aren't openly licensed. Greenfield, brownfield, both good in prod. How much control does it give me? Does it ask useful, clarifying questions, provide good ways to add feedback? Yeah, that's an interesting one. So, okay, now that we've looked at some of these heuristics, let's actually look at what it gave us. So, first off, Lovable again on the left, base 44 on the right. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and just like add stuff. AI evals product test product live testing session execution. Oh, that's making me add a description. Wait, like I can't like add it actually. That's weird. Oh, I have to add a to due date first. That's not super obvious. Okay, cool. All right. And then if I want to add a task over here, okay. AI evals product live testing session execution. So tell me from some of those heuristics that you said, Dr. Micah does not delete your prod database. I think that's a pretty bad failure mode.
Yeah, but I mean, Lovable. I think it was Lovable.
Yeah.
Someone was like, yeah. There's like a lot of stories going around. But
I thought it was Claude that did
was
that.
it Claude? Yeah, I
I thought it
don't
was
remember. It
Claude.
was
Oh, it
something.
was
Yeah.
Replit. It was Replit. Yeah, there's
Okay.
so many of these. I don't know. Um, okay, cool. So real quick, let's look at some of these heuristics, and I'm just going to go one by one. So some of you said, Jonathan said, has good aesthetic out of the box. Thoughts on aesthetic? Give me a 1 for Lovable or a 2 for base 44 for aesthetic. And let me add some more here, just so we can kind of like see more aesthetics, I suppose. Test.
Did you add all those tasks in
No,
the base 44? It came
it
preloaded.
bootstrapped it.
That was a
Yeah,
nice touch. Yeah, I mean, you
I do
can't.
like that because it
Yeah.
made it like, oh, it's for more familiar. Like I could picture my own tasks in here versus this was like completely empty. So that was even part of the aesthetic, I think. So 2 definitely has more. I see 2 way too. 1, I see 2 way too often. Michael, can you tell me more about that? What do you mean too often?
Mhm.
Need more purple. Zeldrin, I love it.
What style is two? Is it like some kind of signature um library that people recognize? The base 44 is using? Because like
Actually,
Michael's saying,
yeah, I think there is. I've used some open source design systems in the past, and like when I've been recently using base 44, I think they're heavily referencing a couple of those. Versus, I think on the left, Lovable maybe produces, at least in my experience, a bit less canned of UXs. Um, okay, okay, cool. So let's look at another heuristic. Let's look at usability. So is it usable? So I could add a task. That's something I could do. I could pick a to-do date. And let's go back to this. So what I asked it to do was create a simple to-do app. A user can add tasks with a description and due date, view a list of tasks, mark tasks as complete, and edit or delete entries. So first of all, base 44 I didn't tell it add sample data. Base 44 assumed that and they added sample data. And I thought that was a nice touch to the user experience. Lovable did not. I imagine if I did ask it to add sample data, it would probably force the issue. So could I add a task with description due date? Yes, I could do that with both. View a list of tasks. Yes, I could do that with both. I could see all active completed. I could see here just some different UX touches. Like this has 1 out of 5 completed. They decided to put the analytics or like the actual number on the tabs themselves. I kind of like that better, honestly.
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. So let me try to complete one. All right, cool. So that's completed. Showed me some juice. Completed this, less juice. Kind of like this better.
You like the toast?
I
Yeah.
like the little toast. Makes me feel like I did something. It's like a pat on the head, you know? Um,
Oh, it looks like it didn't close when you press the X.
oh yeah, that is interesting. So that's probably a bug in the code that was written.
Hmm.
Um, so if I go to completed, oh, that's cool. That animation, that's really nice. I didn't tell it to do that at all. This doesn't have as much of that, but it did have the toast that I liked. Okay. Simp seems easier to add a task for one. Two, you need to push a button first. Yeah, that is true. That is a very big difference in the user experience here. I have to like explicitly add task. That's a whole nother click versus here, I don't. Let me actually, I could refresh this and see if that's like, if I'm playing fair. Yeah, it just has that. Okay. Oh, and that's interesting. It didn't remember my tasks versus base. Well, this is just a difference in the products actually. Um, Okay, what should I improve about this app next? We got 7 minutes, so we got what time for one improvement? Um, Zeldrin, thank you so much. I could host other ones as well if people found this fun. I think it's fun to test apps and getting people together to test, learn live, and use our superpowers and wizard powers that we got from Hamel and Shreya. I think that's a good time. So if people actually here, I'll add if people want more of these lives, emoji react to this. I'll drop a little note. And if people want more of these, feel free to hit that. And I'm happy to host more. Also happy to like just host learning sessions where we talk about our own workflows as AI builders, like the PKM workflow, the Hamel workflow, where it's like the Discord, put that into ChatGPT or whatever. I think that'd be cool. Add a tag or category. Okay, let me do that. I'll go ahead and ask it. Let's add tags and categories. I'll
That's
just leave
cool.
it.
I would join that too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask you all
cool.
kinds of questions about your workflow. I'll share my workflow as well.
Happy to
That would be
share.
really cool.
I am such a nerd with my workflows for productivity. It's almost embarrassing, but I could talk about it all day. But I'll save you all like until that live. Okay, so I just said let's add tags and categories. Put that to both. What is interesting is the provenance, how it's showing the provenance. I think that is even interesting. So it has a way for me to kind of hide this. Base 44 shows every kind of thing it's doing at a high level, summary level. This has it in just one visual editing, and then this thing changes. I could click show all. I kind of like this better. It makes it explicit what I asked base 44 to do. Um, it thought for seven
So while I
seconds
was thinking, what is your verdict,
on
Robert, after using these tools? I have my prediction here.
base 44 by miles. Do you have it? Oh, dude, we have to wait. Put that up. I'm gonna screenshot this. We'll send it to Mayor, who is the base 44 guy. I love it. Wait, keep it there. I'm gonna pin this. Oh yeah. All right, cool, got it. Robert will like base 44. I love it. No, I do love it actually. I do people have people used actually I'll just ask this. For people that have used both, let me know what you like better, base 44 or Lovable. I'm kind of curious to get a pulse check.
Tell me the top three reasons you like base 44 more.
Ooh, that's a good. So first off, I actually just think it just straight up does a better job. With lower amount of context, it spits out more aesthetically pleasing apps that generally get the job done and have less bugs. In addition to that, my use case for it is rapid prototyping to get to continuous discovery habits and like interviewing customers and learning. So I want to actually get a user in there and generate their own data. And then if they come back, they still have that. If I improve the app and I learn more, make assumption tests, improve it. Base 44 just like eliminates kind of the learning loop in prototyping to learn. I think Lovable is not like that at all. It doesn't have the batteries included. So what I mean by batteries included is like here, I could publish this right now. I could publish both right now, but on Lovable side, I have to do a lot more work, connect it to Subabase and stuff like that to actually get user authentication. If I wanted LLM capabilities, like I want to add an AI chat into here, I'd have to bring my own key. I'd have to figure out the Vercel deployment. And that's fine. But on the right, it's like it just comes out of the box.
Why is that fine? That's not fine.
Well, it's fine for rapid prototyping.
Oh, okay, I see.
Like,
But
yeah,
I don't want to do that. Like, I don't.
well,
Yeah, that seems a
rapid
pain.
prototyping of a certain type, like for example, landing pages. Like
Mm,
I think Lovable actually makes pretty good landing pages because it
I
doesn't
see.
quite use the design system kind of approach that's out of the box. It creates more unique things, I find, on
I
Lovable.
see. Because like base 44 is like kind of on Rails, so you can use has like the
Exactly.
database and everything set up
Yeah.
essentially.
So like even our landing page, I use Lovable actually, just because it was able to create me more interesting looking visuals. Base 44 is a little bit more vanilla, but that also might just be a user error problem. Lovable's probably gotten better with that. But if you look here, you can actually do some pretty sophisticated stuff. Like you can get people to log in with Google or Microsoft or Facebook Auth. If you work at a big tech company and you particularly work in platform tooling where you have to ship apps internally for internal people, this is like the best cheat code. This is, you just, oh, somebody thought of an
Yeah,
idea
this is amazing.
5 minutes
This is
later.
the exact thing. This is the exact part where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know
way
if I
better.
want to make it public or
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
So I could
Yeah.
just publish this and then now people could log into it and use it. Um, in addition, I'll nerd out a little bit. And this honestly, like we just figured this out, which is, oh, you can connect this with APIs and have secrets managed here. So it just does the Vercel stuff. Like this is an alpha feature, but I could activate backend functions. I could add secrets. And so if I said, hey, I want to add jiffies to my tasks just for fun. And it's like, okay, well, we got to integrate with Jiffy provider. You have an API key. So it'll do that. Lovable doesn't have any of that. You'd have to actually bring it to a real coding environment. Okay, so we have 1 minute left, and I try as much as possible to get people out on time. Okay, it looks like this one broke on the right. So that's not good.
We have to end. We have a guest lecture right now after this.
All right, so we have categories, we have tags. This one broke. So in that way, base 44 kind of died there at the end. Yeah, Lucinda, that's great. And if any of you have feedback on this, we'll end now. But it sounds like people want another one, so I'll throw another one. Thanks everybody for joining, and Hamel, thanks a
Oh
lot.
yeah, we're gonna do some more stuff with Robert. Yeah. This is excellent, Robert. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. We'll have way more of these, so I'm stoked. Thanks everybody.
Great.
I'll see you all in the Discord in the next meeting.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye bye.
Yeah.